All right, folks, a moment of seriousness, and we can file this under the heading of been there, done that. As far as I remember, I had my first symptoms of COPD emphysema in the late 1990s, early 2000s. We were on a family vacation in Holden Beach, North Carolina, and we were playing wiffle ball on the beach. I hit the ball, ran to first base, and I couldn't catch my breath. I mean, I was so winded. And I only ran like, 40 feet maybe in the sand. I was still a young man. I just turned 40 in 1998, so I was right around 41, 42. But I'd been smoking since 1974 and smoking heavily. But that was my first symptom that I recall. I mean, really good symptom. Yeah, so it was right around 2000, 2001, maybe the summer. In 2022, I didn't write all this down, so excuse me, but in 2022 or so, I did a pulmonary function test. They call it a PFT. And I did a 6-minute walking test. And in less than 6 minutes, in about 3 minutes, my blood oxygen saturation, O2 sats, dropped to 88. And during the test, they stop you at that point. They put oxygen on you, and you restart the test. And you see if you can walk 6 minutes at 2 liters of oxygen, continuous flow. And that's how they determine, the first part of it determines that you need oxygen. The second part of it determines what your prescription is, how many liters you need, so you can walk, 6 minutes at a normal pace. Anyway, that was about the end of 2022, early 2023. Since then, my pulmonary function has dropped from 26% down to 18%. So I'm considered end stage emphysema. That doesn't mean I'm going to die next week, next month, next year. You can live years and years at stage 4. In fact, on May 12th, and you already know some of this already, I had a procedure on the lower left lobe of my lung called the Zephyr valves. 5 valves were put in during a procedure called a bronchoscopy, and they put these one-way valves in the lower left lobe of my lung. Emphysema creates hyperinflated lobes or locations in your lungs, and these valves, all right, hush baby, and these valves deflate your lung, and they're one-way valves, so they don't allow your lungs to reinflate. And that makes it easier for you to breathe. It doesn't lead to prolonged life. It leads to better quality of life. So I had that done, and I've been doing pulmonary rehab exercises, and I've been getting better and better and better, and I'm using my oxygen less and less. But you can see I have it on right now because I did a normal household task without it, and I got winded, and I've got my pulse ox here. My oxygen went down to 84. It's not supposed to go below, 89, and 89 and 90 are low, although 88 to 92 are pretty normal for my level of emphysema. But anyway, I had to put my oxygen on and sit for a minute. These valves, like I said, are making things better, and I'm using my oxygen less. I pace myself. I walk slower. I do less. I sit and rest more often. But I can do things now without my oxygen that I couldn't do last year, and so it's good. But you can learn to live with this, and I have found the key is I personally trust God. I trust my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I'm not afraid to die, and I know I'm not going to die anytime soon. But it's hard. It's hard living with chronic disease, chronic pain, being breathless. But I still do things. I ride my Harley. I travel. I visit. I still do normal everyday activities. They're harder to do. I plan differently because I have to have more time to get things done. If I'm having company, I need more time to clean my apartment. I hired a maid. Things like this that I'm blessed to be able to do. But I don't live in fear. It's so important that I control my emotions, my mental state. I'm a disabled vet. I have PTSD, depression, anxiety, and those things, and I do take some medications for them. Thank God that the VA is there for me. But I do have to work and control my thoughts and emotions to live with this. I mean, it's easy to get down in the dumps. I can't do the shit I used to do, and I can't have this fun. I can't do this and that, and isolate and become a hermit. I can't do that. Being sedentary is death. You know, so I have to get up. I have to walk. I have to do the dishes. I have to do those things that people normally do, that we do to live. I've got to participate in life, and I got to get up every morning and make that decision. Even if I say, well, shit, I used to be able to jump in my clothes and get out the door in less than 5 minutes, but now it takes me 5 to 10 minutes just to put my shoes and socks on, because bending over is hard to do. I put my blue jeans on and I'm winded. I got to sit and rest. But I can't let that get me down. I just got to understand that's my life now. And if I want to go ride that Harley, that's what I got to do. If I want to go see that person, that's what I got to do. If I want to spend time with my grandkids, that's what I got to do. And I want all those things. So I live with it. And I have to say, Steve, you're in control of your emotions. You're in control of your thoughts. My mother had rheumatoid arthritis and COPD. She had asthma. She had chronic bronchitis. The last 10, 15, 20 years of her life were very, very painful. And that woman got up every day and lived her life. For the last several years, she needed help. But she got up every day and she cleaned herself and she ate. My sister Carol made her food and helped her. But that woman got up every day and lived her life. And she went to events that her grandkids had. Even when she had to have her mobile scooter and her oxygen. My youngest sister's a cosmetologist. She went over to the condo and did Mom's hair. Made sure she looked proper. And Mom went out and lived her life. And it was inspirational to watch. And I fall back on that inspiration now. If you have COPD, if you have any chronic illness, your life has changed. And it hasn't changed for the better. But you might be able to use it to give hope, to give inspiration to your kids if you have them, your grandkids if you have them, your friends, your neighbors, people at work. It's not a death sentence. You still have life to live. And the quality of that life is your decision. It's cliche, but it's like they say, it's up to you. It's your life. It's up to you to live it. And it's going to be what you make it. So make it something you can be proud of on that last day when you're laying there fading out, ready to meet the Lord. Leave an example behind for those that are going to follow you. It makes a difference, and it gives value, I think, to this stage of our life. So those are my thoughts. You can send me a message through YouTube. You can find Steve Bussey on Facebook. Be careful, it's not my son. Although he'll be great for you to talk to also. I'm on TikTok. I'm on X. I'm around. I'll post some links sometime when I get around to it. But let me know if you want to talk, if you need to talk. If you're a veteran, a disabled veteran, if you're suffering from addiction. I got sober 8 years ago. Like I said, I've lived with COPD. I don't want to say suffered. I've lived with COPD for 25 years at least. So I've kind of been there, done that. And if you just want to bend my ear or vent, or if you do need advice, I won't give you advice ever unless you ask for it. I've been there, done that, just like the heading says. I've been there, done that. Got a few t-shirts. So hit me up if you want to talk. I'm going to post more of these. I post all those shorts and, for politics and stuff, because that's fun. And that, it's just something I do for fun. And I believe everything. But some guy asked me on one of those shorts if I could prove the things I'm saying. And I can, although you don't normally prove an opinion. Opinions, I hope, the ones I respect at least, are based on fact, logic, and reason. And I think mine are. And those are the opinions I respect, even if I disagree with them. But opinion's not really something you can prove. It's something you can discuss, you can convince other people of, but it's not something you can, quote, prove. But I think I can prove some historical facts that I talk about. Anyway, I do those shorts for fun. something to fill the time in, and hopefully to let people out there who are concerned with politics know, of a certain mindset, know that they're not alone, that there's other people out here who think like them. And see, right now, my oxygen is back up. So I don't want to wear my oxygen, switching topics again. I don't want to wear my oxygen when I don't need it. That's critical. Don't wear your oxygen when you don't need it. So I put it away over there. I keep the oxygen concentrator running. And right now, my oxygen's up to 96%. 95 and up are considered normal. Now, I'm going to get up and walk into the kitchen here in a minute, and I'm not going to wear my oxygen, and it'll probably drop to about 87. But when I do my pursed lip breathing, what they call pursed lip breathing or mindful breathing, it'll come right back up to 89, 90, 91. You breathe in deeply through the nose, and then you breathe out with your lips pursed like you're trying to blow up a balloon. Always breathe out twice as much as you breathe in, because you're trying to get that trapped air out of your lung, the CO2 that collects in your blood. You're trying to get that out. So make sure you do that. All right, friends, this is Steve from Been There, Done That. I'm going to sign off now. I love you. I pray for all of you, even if I don't know you, and I wish you peace in your lives. Send me a message if you need to talk. Thank you.